let's shift gears there and talk about the Houston Cougars.
Yes.
10-3 last year.
Mm-hmm.
Their win total per Vegas is 7.5. It just so happens that you and I are both crazy for Houston this year. We love ourselves some Houston Cougars. They bring back Willie Fritz, all of his coordinators. They're also 17th nationally in returning production, notably 71% back on offense, which is 7th best in the country. The interesting note on Houston is, I think, how they're being portrayed by some of the other preview publications that I know you and I have been studying intently. This could easily be a situation where the roster is better than it was a year ago, but the final record is worse because of the schedule. The schedule's pretty tough. They've got games at Texas Tech, at Kansas State, at Utah. The road games against K-State and Utah are also laced with potential letdowns and look-aheads with UCF before K-State, Oklahoma State in between K-State and Utah. So there's a bunch at play there with respect to the schedule. But with respect to the roster, we like this team a fair amount, don't we?
I think so, yes. I planted my flag and had them losing to Texas Tech early and then beating them in a rematch later on in the Big 12 title game. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I'm not taking it back. I think there is something about the obvious, whether it's Miami or Texas Tech, the obvious favorite in a conference that just rubs me the wrong way in the sport. There's just too much weirdness to college football. With respect to Houston, Connor Weigman's 37 years old. I like that starting point.
And for the first time in his career, he's had the same offensive coordinator for 2 straight years, Slade Nagel. Good for him.
Yes. So, okay. The quarterback that I think can be successful plays with Moxie, Ty. Plays with some Moxie. An offensive line that is put together once again. There's a bunch of transfers that are going to need to figure it out pretty quickly with how quickly they get some of these teams. But I don't know. I think skill position, they'll be fine. They lost a good tight end, but I think they're going to be able to fill in that production with promise at receiver. A couple good running backs, including Makhi Hughes, who now steps in from Tulane via Oregon. Just a changeover? I don't know.
Speaking of the Odyssey, I have some thoughts on Makhi Hughes.
A layover in Eugene.
Yep.
Up front, they're going to need some help from transfers, but with where they are on the back end of this defense, I think it's a thin but maybe decent linebacker room. I think they're pretty good at defensive back. And you mentioned the schedule being tricky. Good year to get a first-year coach in K-State. With a lot that's changing on that defense. Good year to get a first-year coach in Utah. With a lot changing, especially on that defense. The November part of their schedule is extremely workable. I think I go the opposite way. I think they could have a better record than they actually are.
Interesting.
I think you could look up and see 10-2 Houston and be like, "All right, they're gonna give BYU or Texas Tech something else in this Big 12 championship game," and then not have it work out. I think the record will inflate them a little bit. I just think it's a good year to have this specific schedule. I mean, these are good programs on this schedule, but I mean, the November of home against Cincinnati, Colorado on the road, West Virginia on the road. They lost that game last year in a weird one. Baylor at home to finish things out. I'm just not seeing any defenses right now that I'm absolutely blown away by. And then Utah might not have a defense like it's had lately. Oklahoma State might not have a defense. Kansas State might not have a defense. I'm pretty sure UCF will. I'm positive Texas Tech will. And that's everybody on the Big 12 slate.
All right. You are goo-goo for Houston then. I didn't realize this.
I'm a little bit horny for Houston, Ty. I got to tell you.
Well, look, for me, the story for Houston in 2026 is going to be line play and the health of Connor Weigman.
Yeah. And I think precision on the offense, too. Like red zone, third down, high leverage stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
game.
Add as a secondary thing whether or not Connor Weigman develops more as a passer. He's not a bad passer by any stretch.
I agree.
I think right now, anyway, this stage in his career, he's a little bit more feared as a runner. The usage of him will be something interesting to watch because there have been durability questions surrounding him. which I think is worth noting, if only because he's a good runner. And if he's healthy, you can use him in that capacity. He finished with over 700 rushing yards and 11 rushing touchdowns last season alone. This is the area where I think, to the earlier point, Makhi Hughes could be really significant. Makhi Hughes, previously with Willie Fritz at Tulane, before, as you said, the layover at Oregon. As Sean McDonough would say, he entered the witness protection program.
Yeah.
Got just 17 carries with
a
Oregon.
Weird situation, by the way. Like, all of the previews last year were like, oh, man, this
What
guy's
happened?
having a ton
Was
of
he
production.
Was he just not good enough?
I think Oregon didn't fully realize what they had with Noah Whittington, Jordan Davison, and De'Aaron Hill.
Okay.
And I think they would have rather played him than exhaust Makhi Hughes' eligibility. And I think they did right by him. And so I think he hung around and everything was fine, but he wanted more playing time. And with two freshmen coming in last year, he knew
you got to go.
That's
got to go
tough.
elsewhere.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be imperative on Makhi Hughes to take some of that pressure off of Connor Weigman by getting it going on the ground. As you mentioned, they do need the line to get a better push in the run game, which is not something they were particularly good at last season. But it seems as if they're at least setting up to do some of that this year. Whether or not that comes to fruition, I guess, remains to be seen. And I'm with you on the defensive side, too. Like, I feel better about the back part of the defense than I do the front. I'm a little concerned about the line because Carlos Allen, Eddie Walls are both gone.
Yeah.
I've read a lot about Ashton Porter, another guy from Oregon. But do we know anything about him?
Yeah, he's versatile. He's a big edge that I think can be moved around the line a little bit and seemed to flash a little bit in rotations. They were just crazy deep at edge last year, so he didn't see a ton of snaps along the defensive line. And would have, obviously given the losses Oregon's had in the rotation along the defensive line this season, but I think he made a smart decision to go to a place like Houston to really show what he can do.
I'm with you, though. I'm over 7.5. And I've got Houston fringe contender in the Big 12. I like this team a lot.
All right, so we sort of agree.
No, we agree.
Okay.
You're probably a little bit higher on Houston than I am, but we're both, I think, comfortably going over 7.5.
They're another chain team, by the way. We talked about that a little bit with Kansas State.
Yes.
They were going through 3rd and 7+ too often. And so if they can, and look, that's the run game, right? You're not going to be good if you can't run. Setting up 3rd and manageable, you're not going to be good in the red zone if you can't run. And those things came to pass, no pun intended. So, they have their homework.